Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. It's your boy, World of Wrestling. I went ahead, I stepped into the depths of hell last night. I sat through 3 hours of WWE Monday Night Raw. And do you know the funny part about all of this, guys? This is the funny part. The only thing that was noteworthy or entertaining on the entire show was a fucking game show with Matt Riddle and Randy Orton against Otis and Chad Gable. They were funny, entertaining. Yes, it wasn't wrestling. And I feel really silly to feel that that was okay on a wrestling show. It wasn't even sports entertainment. Was it educational? Yeah, I guess you could say that. But at the end of the day, the show was fucking a joke. It was an abysmal joke. It was the bottom of the barrel load of garbage. It made absolutely no sense. It was a real bore fest, if you really want to get technical. And I got to admit, this was really a sad, sad show. I spent most of my time going ahead and looking through my phone than even giving a shit about this stuff. This show was, like always, trash. I got to admit, any of the podcasters that go ahead on a weekly basis to cover this show for 3 straight hours with commercials and really terrible, terrible booking with very terrible dialogue, they should be given a fucking medal. Really, they should be given a medal for what they do. Because what they are doing is hard as fuck to do. Nobody in their right mind who is not making money off of this shit can really do this. Let's be real. I literally could not bear to do this anymore. I almost quit. I really did. I almost quit. The matches were fucking trash. There was nothing on this show that was remotely entertaining when it came to the matches. AJ Styles had a decent matchup against Damian Priest, but there's one small problem, folks. Why the fuck is Damian Priest and AJ Styles facing each other? You got the champion in a non-title match going up against a guy who could be a potential champion in the future. AJ Styles needs these wins. If he wants to get a big WrestleMania match, he's got to get wins for the rest of this entire road to WrestleMania bullshit. For us to even get even remotely excited for whoever he's going to be going up against. So, bottom line, guys, I mean, there was nothing on this show that was remotely entertaining. I don't know what the hell. This show was as dead can get. I mean, the only further thing you can go with dead is decaying and rotting away of flesh. That's all I can say at this point. And I noticed that there ain't nobody here right now yet to comment in the chat section. So I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. And if anyone wants to join in on a party and chat away with me, you're more than welcome to do so. But yeah, I'm going to go over this Raw. I'm going to go over let me go over the AEW stuff, actually. AEW has got some big surprises coming up. From what I've heard in the news rumor, that there is a rumor going around that it could be Big E as the big surprise for Dynamite. There is mention of possibly Jeff Hardy, which would make a little sense since Matt Hardy deals with Isaiah Cassidy. And one other name that's running around in the news rumor mill, which I don't understand why this is a rumor at all. I even got asked by, I think it was Rachel Buck who asked me this, if what my thoughts would be if Triple H walked through the forbidden door. It's not going to happen. I really don't think it's going to happen. I don't think Triple H is walking through the forbidden door and slamming it in front of Vince McMahon's face. If it happens, I swear to you folks, I will be the most shocked person on the planet. Now, then that would mean there have to be two surprises on this show. One that's a talent that can wrestle in the ring, which might be fucking good old Keith Lee, along with Triple H. That would make some sense. Triple H being Keith Lee's manager? I guess you could roll with that, maybe. I mean, if you started a faction with Triple H, Adam Cole, and the Undisputed Era members, along with Keith Lee, kind of call them the next generation of wrestling and AEW kind of deal. I mean, that would be kind of cool. But I don't see it happening, folks. I don't think we're ever going to see Triple H anywhere near AEW. You know, one of the reasons why I say that, the simple reason that he would have to admit that AEW defeated him. So, there you go, man. I don't know where this rumor is coming in, but I actually saw this on my phone. And it blew me away, really. I was shocked by this. Let me just pull it up for you guys real quick so I can go over it with you and what they said, because this was utterly retarded. I could not believe what they were saying in this whole entire thing. So let me go ahead and pull this up. Give me one sec. Sorry about the wait, guys. Let me trying to find the report that was stating this just recently, because this was like just a few hours ago. Yeah, I really can't find it right off the bat, but I found it on my thing when I went to Google to another page, and it showed that. So I don't know where it is now at this point, but yeah, a lot of these other reports are like really old with speculation that he's going to go to AEW, some BS like that. And I don't know. But yeah, I really don't understand how any of these reports can be coming out that Triple H is possibly going over to AEW. It makes absolutely no sense to me. So Matt 87 Eagles says that Limitless Keith Lee, he believes, is going to be the guy to walk through the forbidden door. I totally agree with that. There's already been confirmed reports that he has signed on the dotted lines. He is part of the AEW roster. They just didn't mention when his debut is going to be. I found this out over the weekend. So yeah, Keith Lee is more than likely going to be that person. The only other person that could be that that surprise is Jeff Hardy. So it's one of those two guys, Keith Lee or Jeff Hardy. That's all there's going to be there in this situation. That's the only choices you got that are logical. If they go beyond that and they go to the realms of a Shane McMahon or something like that, will flip people out. That will blow people away. I honestly don't believe that Shane McMahon sabotaged the Royal Rumble, and I can explain why. And I believe I explained this last episode, but if I didn't, let me explain it again. The reason why I don't believe Shane sabotaged the Royal Rumble is he was a producer for the match. Everything that he had to do was through Vince McMahon's approval. His father approved certain things, and certain other things that he came up with weren't approved. I don't know how wanting to put over an Austin Theory is sabotaging the Royal Rumble. Let me explain why. If Shane McMahon is placing himself as the last person, and let's get real, guys, there's nobody on this roster at all worthy enough to even go up against Brock Lesnar as the last person. I mean, Drew McIntyre, yeah, I can agree with that. They were the last. They actually had some, altercation with each other over the WWE Championship in 2020. He also eliminated Brock Lesnar in the 2020 Royal Rumble when he was eliminating everyone when he came into the Royal Rumble itself. So I get that. That choice was okay with me as well. But with Shane McMahon, being, willing to do what he did with fucking, give me 1 second. Oh shit. Anyway, little distraction there. I had some crap sitting there that was in the way of the picture I noticed, so I apologize. Anywho, guys, bottom line, Shane McMahon was willing to put over Brock Lesnar. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's a big fucking whoop-de-doo. Who the hell cares that he's putting over Brock Lesnar? Brock Lesnar is already a made man. I get that. But when you look at the overall long-term booking of all this, which is something WWE has no idea what long-term booking is anymore, and he's willing to put over a guy like Brock Lesnar, will be eliminated by Brock Lesnar, and then willing to put over a guy like Austin Theory at WrestleMania, that is something meaningful for Austin Theory. The whole point of him doing what he did, being the last person with Brock Lesnar, is to bring value to when Austin Theory beats him at WrestleMania. That was the point of why he was the last entrant, or the last person to be eliminated in the Royal Rumble match. I get that. Why no one else is catching on to this, I have no idea. Another thing that I don't know if it was mentioned in his creative ideas, Shane McMahon should have been eliminating Austin Theory from the Royal Rumble. That's another thing. The other thing is, Austin Theory should have been the Iron Man of the Royal Rumble. He should have been able to last as long as AJ Styles did, which he did not. He didn't do any of that. He lasted, I think, maybe 15 minutes. I don't even think he eliminated that many people, maybe 1 or 2 people. That's it. Big fucking deal. Him eliminating, Shane McMahon eliminating Kevin Owens really isn't that important. Personally, the only elimination that should have took place was Austin Theory getting thrown over the top rope by Shane McMahon. That's the only thing that should have happened. And then Brock Lesnar should have eliminated Shane McMahon as the last person in the Royal Rumble match to eliminate. That makes sense to me. But because he didn't agree with his old man, Shane McMahon was supposedly sabotaging and being a distraction backstage and upsetting everyone else. Folks, I don't think Shane McMahon was in the wrong. I think he was in the right. Triple H has tried constantly to have Vince McMahon understand creative ideas, and he refuses to listen to him. So the whole point is, if you can't get through to the man, what is the point of working there anymore? There is none. There's no point in working for a boss who won't listen to other creative ideas. He should want to do that. His only purpose is to ruin the company, not care about building anyone, because he doesn't want to. He wants to make sure nobody can get over and succeed in their future. So he wants to make sure that they suck balls. And in order to get that big payday, they have to go through hula hoops and make themselves look like fools on national television. If you watch Monday Night Raw, you'll see that all these people made a fool out of themselves. Sorry. So let me go over some of the comments, mostly by Matt87 Eagle, and Rachel Buck had a comment that I will go ahead and read. I think it also was a question. So let me go over these comments by Matt87 Eagle and Rachel Buck. Triple H ain't showing up at AEW. Totally agree with that. People need to stay off the crack. I agree with you, Matt. I think a lot of people are smoking some heavy-duty dope here. I don't know what the fuck they're thinking Triple H is going to walk through the forbidden door. I highly doubt that is the case. I think anyone that thinks that really belongs in a mental institution. If it does happen, man, I will forever shut this channel down, because then I'm a fucking asshole for even saying anything like that. But I am so certain, highly positive, that that will not happen, so I'm not going to have to worry about shutting down this channel. But I'll give you my guarantee. If Triple H walks through the forbidden door and shows up on an AEW program, I am closing down this channel. I will put a bet on that, because that is how certain I am about this. At least with Triple H. Shane McMahon, totally different story. I'm not putting my fucking money on that. That is a small possibility. Triple H, slim to fucking none. Okay? All right, so Matt87 Eagle says he wanted to outstrike Matt Riddle, a former MMA fighter. Who? Brock Lesnar wanted Matt Riddle as the last person at the end of the Rumble? Is that what you're referring to, Matt? Because I'm not sure what you meant. And then Matt says WWE and LTB don't mix. Okay. All right, so Rachel Buck states, did you hear that they may re-sign Goldberg to stay longer past the Elimination Chamber to WrestleMania? To face who, Rachel? I mean, if you guys expect Roman Reigns and Goldberg to be a 10-minute match, a colossal disaster like Goldberg had with The Undertaker in 2019 in Saudi Arabia, please spare me the bullshit. You ain't getting nothing with Roman Reigns and Goldberg. The only thing I expect is a 100% squash by Roman Reigns against Goldberg. That would be the ultimate thing they could possibly do for Roman Reigns, is have Roman Reigns bury the shit out of Goldberg at this point. Because Goldberg has buried everyone else. Goldberg is an old, beaten up guy. I mean, by the time he gets down the ramp after he's done doing his shit, I mean, let's get real, man. He's gassed. He don't want to do. He's fucking tired as hell. He don't want to fucking do nothing. I mean, come on. If I see Goldberg with Roman Reigns go past fucking past freaking 10 minutes, or even past 5 minutes for that matter, I will be shocked. Really. That is fucking crazy. All right. Matt87 Eagle, he says, I wouldn't put it past WWE to re-sign Goldberg. Yeah, I wouldn't either. You said, Matt, that Shane wanted to put over Matt Riddle? Okay. It's cool. Rachel Buck says they might do a triple threat match, triple threat WrestleMania with Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre. Where does Drew get involved in this? No offense, Rachel. I think you might have gotten that off of a dirt sheet, which is fine. I hope that's not your creative idea, because I think that would be a terrible idea. Right now, Drew McIntyre is in the worst lows of lows he's ever been in his career. I think it's as bad as when he was part of the 3-man band with fucking Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal. I mean, it's really sad, man, the way he's being booked. I mean, he's being booked in a rivalry against Happy Corbin and Madcap Moss. Like I've said before, Madcap Moss is like a fucking roided out Steve Urkel. I mean, come on, man. Man, oh man. So Matt Black Hats says, good evening to you, sir. I've been chatting with you in the comments section throughout some of the videos I've uploaded in the last week or so. It's been nice talking to you. Black Hats also states, first time on your live stream. Well, welcome to the live stream, bro. This is a place where your voice can be heard, even though you're not able to talk in a microphone or anything, but I am willing to talk and read your comments online. For everyone else to hear your voice and to hear your comments and me to interact with you guys. That's what I love to do with this, since I'm a small channel, and it makes it easier for me to do this, and I don't have to you don't have to do any super chats for me to read your comments, because if I read all your comments, I'd be here for fucking ever. But anyway, Black Hats also states that the final Ring of Honor event is on April 1st. That is actually my birthday, guys. Really? I thought the Final Battle was their final event. That must be the Super Card of Honor, I believe is what it's called. I might be incorrect about that, but yeah, I think it's Super Card of Honor. And Rachel Buck says they are pairing Carmella and Corey Graves together. What, is like Corey Graves is a manager to Carmella? Like he's getting off of the commentary team? That's new to me. Not that it really matters. I mean, it's not that big of news, but whatever. Black Hat says, I'm glad Anthem bought Ring of Honor. What? Impact Wrestling bought Ring of Honor. Oh, I got to read this. Hold on a second. Did Impact Wrestling buy Ring of Honor? They're not. No, there's no statement on Ring of Honor being bought out by Impact Wrestling yet. I don't know. Black Hats, if you could you send the link in the chat so I can go ahead and pull that up where you found that information? Because I went ahead and typed it in on a search on my phone, and I'm not finding it anywhere of that report. But hey, if Impact Wrestling bought them out, I'd like to know where they got the fucking money. And Ring of Honor is definitely selling themselves short. They must have really wanted to get the hell out of having the ownership. Anyway, Matt87 Eagle says, no, Shane wanted to outstrike Riddle to prove he was a better striker. Really? Holy shit. Well, I didn't know that report, and I'll tell you what, that I don't like. That is ridiculous. You don't have Shane McMahon go over on Matt Riddle and striking technique and whatnot. I mean, Matt Riddle's a fucking trained MMA fighter. What's Shane McMahon? A wannabe MMA fighter who's got some training? Give me a fucking break. Matt Riddle fought in a UFC octagon. Get the hell out of here. That's bullshit. You don't do that shit. It's fucking retarded. Carmella said it on Twitter, referring back to them going ahead and being a pairing. Now you're talking about them on television, because if you're talking about just personally, yeah, I already knew they were a couple. But if you're talking about live television, like being paired together as a storyline type of deal, no, I did not know that. And it's not that big of a deal, but maybe it'll enhance her character, I guess, with Corey Graves being like a manager or something like that. Oh, okay, live TV. All right, Rachel. And Black Hat says I'll look it up soon about the whole Anthem buying out Ring of Honor, which would blow my fucking mind. Matt Black Hat's asked me, is WWE 2K22 going to fail again? I don't think they're going to fail. I don't think they're going to be anywhere near where they once were, but I don't think they're going to be as low or as bad as WWE 2K20. 2K20, I think, was probably by far the worst WWE 2K video game ever made in its history. That was fucking terrible. But yeah, it's fucking crazy. But yeah, just to go over some of the stuff, AEW, you know, they bought out AEW. AEW got Keith Lee. There's a possibility, rumor going around, that Jeff Hardy may show up this coming Wednesday, tomorrow, which, thank you, Lord. I am so happy to see that fucking show come on the air. It's going to make up for the watching 3 hours of shitty-ass Monday Night Raw, guys. I mean, I don't know how I did it. And you guys probably could have cared less if I would have watched 3 hours of Monday Night Raw live and then review it here on Random Wrestling Talk. But I'm going to go over it real quickly. I'm not going to, go ahead and go on a full-fledged review like I normally do on my separate videos that I upload online, because that would take us a very long time. It would take us past the hour, and I don't want to do longer than an hour. So let's just go real quick through this Raw results and go over that from last night. Black Hat says that Jeff Hardy might show up on March 6th. Yeah, I did see some kind of report on Google that actually might be the case. There was some kind of report going on with that. Let me just pull that up real quick. Shit. That's gone on here. All right, well, I'm not gonna go ahead and go all crazy over this, trying to find all that information. But yeah, I believe you. I think Jeff Hardy might be at March 6th event. Keith Lee may be at March 6th event for Revolution. So either one of those two might show up at Revolution, and the other will show up tomorrow night. So it all depends on how things go, and we'll just see what happens tomorrow. Definitely give us an explanation of who's showing up where. Also, Black Hat's stated Austin Theory lost a tooth against Kevin Owens. Huh. Well, I guess you could call him the next Chris Benoit, only he's not as good of a technical wrestler that Chris Benoit was. Rachel Buck states that Braun Breaker accepts Dolph Ziggler's challenge for the WWE NXT Championship. Is that for tonight, or is that for an NXT used to be takeover show? Now it's a joke. Matt87 Eagle says, plus we get to hear MJF's celebrity speech over CM Punk. Yeah, that ending kind of sucked. The match was great, but like I said last week, I thought that ending to that match was just kind of sad. NXT 2.0, Rachel Buck says that he's going to be performing in front of people on television. Well, Dolph Ziggler seems to be used everywhere to lose. And why does Dolph Ziggler get an NXT World Championship opportunity? What the hell did he do? What has he been doing on the main roster? He's been a jobber. So what does he get a championship match? I can understand if they did Braun Breaker versus AJ Styles. Though that would cause him a loss, but I probably wouldn't do that. I would maybe do someone else that's had some kind of winning streak that could afford a loss. Like maybe an Austin Theory against Braun Breaker for the NXT World Championship. That's something I would have considered. But I don't know. I'm going to read this last comment with Black Hats, and then I'm going to go ahead and get started. You guys can leave comments as I go, and then I'll come back to you guys. Black Hat states, why do people hate Nick Khan so much? Black Hats, we went over this before, you and I stated this. The reason why people are disliking Nick Khan, and for good reason, by the way, is because of the fact that he is part of the financial end of things, and everything that he is doing is to help destroy what Vince McMahon and his father created. Nick Khan is not about pro wrestling. He's not about caring about the talent. He doesn't look at anyone but as a number. He doesn't care about the individual. He doesn't care about their feelings. He is completely cold and heartless. I understand that WWE is a business. So is AEW. But there is one thing that AEW does that WWE doesn't do. Sorry about the confusion there. I messed up with my sentence. But what AEW does that WWE doesn't do is AEW treats their talent like family. They treat them like they're friends. They're close knit. They actually have an association with each other. They communicate on a regular basis. Tony Khan talks to them about ideas. I'm pretty sure of this, that Tony Khan bounces ideas and gets ideas from other people that are involved in these storylines. And if he likes the idea, he goes with it. If he doesn't, he tells them probably professionally, I'm sorry, but we're not going to go with that idea. But if you come up with something else that I agree with, I'll be more than happy to put it on the show and push it through. But the thing is, Tony Khan is not an a-hole. Vince McMahon doesn't listen to any voice of reason at all. That is the problem with Vince McMahon. He used to be a guy that was open-minded. He used to want to take a gamble on people, and he used to go ahead and try to push certain superstars you would never imagine trying to push in the first place, like Jack Swagger, man. Jack Swagger, I mean, he won the Royal Rumble, the Money in the Bank in 2010, and they took a chance with this guy. When do you ever see WWE take a chance with anybody? I mean, really, who do they take a chance on? They don't. They stick with the old burnouts that are barely there on the show. It's pathetic. It really is. Anyway, let me get started with this review. Then I'll go over the comments that were made in the chat section, and then I will close up this entire live stream. I thank you guys for the few of you, 3 of you actually, which isn't much, but hey, I don't mind the conversation. It makes the show worth doing because I'm actually communicating with you guys. But let me go ahead real quick and go over the results of this piece of shit show, which, folks, I thought was absolutely dreadful. Really, I thought it was terrible. So the Quiz Bowl with the fucking Randy Orton and Matt Riddle against the Chad Gable and Otis. This was actually a very funny, entertaining thing. I thought it was very funny. But at the same time, it wasn't sports. It wasn't even sports entertainment like. This was a joke. This was a mockery, but it was comedic and it was funny. And it got over with me. I really found it funny. And I kind of feel a little guilty for, enjoying this, because this is not pro wrestling. You're never going to find this on an AEW or not even Impact. Impact does silly segments, but you'll never see Impact Wrestling produce a shit segment like this. And I say shit not because I thought it was literally shit, but the fact of the matter is this should not be on your show, man. You're leading into a humongous pay-per-view that's going to consist of possibly 100,000 people. You should be taking this very, very seriously. You're in a pandemic. People are concerned about getting sick nowadays. They are not going to go out and waste their money unless they're out of their fucking mind to go to your show that is probably going to cost them thousands and thousands of dollars without giving the idea that you are going to give them a card their time is being invested to. I personally would not waste I wouldn't waste a fucking dime on WrestleMania this year. I didn't waste it on WrestleMania 37. It was my hometown in Tampa. Now, WrestleMania 36, I was willing to go. I actually had the tickets. I had the tickets for NXT. I mean, shit, my friend Matt 87 Eagle and I were going to go to the NXT show. He didn't want to go to WrestleMania because he says fuck to WWE's main roster, which is fine with me. That's his opinion. That's fine. But at the end of the day, I was willing to go ahead and take the chance with the show because they had a good card going. They had AJ Styles and Undertaker. That was going to be a coffin match, I believe, was the possible match they were going to book, which would have been great. They basically did have a casket match at this graveyard match. That's basically what it was, anyway. What else? Bray Wyatt and John Cena were going to have an actual match in front of a live crowd. That's a good match. Imagine the storytelling they would have been able to tell in this matchup. I think they would have done an excellent job with this. What else was taking place? Brock Lesnar, Drew McIntyre in front of a fucking live crowd. Dude, man, that would have gotten over like fucking crazy. Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. No, I wasn't buying the ticket to see that match. I'm sorry. If you would have said if they were going to do this kind of match 10 years ago with a Roman Reigns in his prime now against a Goldberg 10 years ago, yeah, I wouldn't lie. I think it would be pretty damn good. I think Goldberg would be able to provide us an actual match. So, whatever. But yeah, I mean, you're not getting anyone invested in this show. And if people are going out and wasting their money, you could find so many other things to waste your money on. Try wasting your money on a down payment on a nice house. I guarantee the money that you put down to go do all this shit for WWE would be good enough for a 20% down payment on a nice home. I mean, this is ridiculous to waste your fucking money. Oh yeah, and Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania 36. That was even a good match inside of a fucking empty arena. That was a good match. That was entertaining as hell. And what do you know? Kevin Owens actually had a moment at that time. What has Kevin Owens done? He's had no moments in WWE outside of WrestleMania 36 and maybe WrestleMania 32. With that opener that he had with that ladder match for his Intercontinental Championship. Outside of that, Kevin Owens hasn't done nothing at WrestleMania. Oh, he had a match with Sami Zayn last year. Yeah, that was a real winner right there. Match went less than 10 minutes. I remember they had a match in 2016, multiple matches, by the way, that went about between 15 to 30 minutes, at least 20 minutes. They had a match. And I believe at one point it was over a championship. I'm not sure 100%, but they did an excellent job in 2016 with their rivalry. They were entertaining. And they carried that from the NXT into the WWE main roster, which is another cool thing, which WWE never has done, by the way. I don't think any storyline like that from NXT carried over into WWE ever. So yeah, fucking what's his face? Matt Riddle and Randy Orton, they won this whole thing over really ridiculous stuff. Chad Gable was entertaining as hell. The buzzer went off near the end. He was acting like he was getting a heart attack and palpitations in his chest. I thought that was funny as shit. I mean, he's acting like he's getting a heart attack. The guy was funny. Chad Gable is turned into a very entertaining person, and on top of it, he's a good wrestler. So, man, oh man. Black Hat says bye. All right, well, bye, Black Hats. I hope I didn't offend you in any way, shape, or form. But if you got to go and you got something else you got to do, by all means, go to it, man. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate it. Hope to hear from you again soon. If you want to comment with me in other videos, you're more than welcome to. So yeah, after this whole situation, the Street Profits showed up. They talked a lot of smack. The Street Profits got Alpha Academy pissed off. This led to an impromptu match. Alpha Academy won this match, which is good. I would hate to think that the tag team champions would actually lose in a non-title match, which I'm glad of. They're the only champions that had a non-title match that didn't lose. Unbelievable. MVP and Bobby Lashley, folks, they went pretty much over mostly just Brock Lesnar. That's all they talked about through this entire promo. If you guys don't think that at this point in time, after the promo MVP and Bobby Lashley gave last night is not a hint that Brock Lesnar is not winning the WWE Championship, think again. They would not keep revisiting this whole concept, Bobby Lashley's better than Brock Lesnar bullshit. They keep talking about champion versus champion. They keep doing all this stuff. Brock Lesnar cannot afford to lose a single match until he loses to Roman Reigns. So why would he lose in this Elimination Chamber match for the WWE Championship? It makes no sense. So, of course, Brock Lesnar is winning back the WWE title. The whole Vince McMahon's concept here, which I can't believe I understand this, but nobody else is acknowledging this, is Vince McMahon's mindset is this. He went into the Royal Rumble WWE champion, okay? Why would he have Brock Lesnar go up against Roman Reigns if he's still the champion before he goes into the Royal Rumble? Why would Brock Lesnar need to go in the Royal Rumble while he's still the champion? This is the concept of this fucking psychopath's mind. He doesn't think of the other idea of like a New Japan wrestling style where you have 2-night events and you have champion versus champion go at it, compete on night 1, and then face the Royal Rumble winner in night 2 to crown the official undisputed champion in WWE. He doesn't see it that way. Instead, he sees it better with Brock Lesnar losing the title to Bobby Lashley keeping it for 3 weeks, losing it to Brock Lesnar after Brock Lesnar won the Royal Rumble, and then have Brock Lesnar win that title back and do a hot potato, and then take that title after a couple of months of being champion leading into WrestleMania to ultimately lose the championship to Roman Reigns anyway. This is the logic of a 70-plus-year-old man running a company. I don't know, folks. To me, that seems a little whippy-washy, going round and round like you're going in a fucking circle. To me, it sounds like he's in a fucking clown show, in a circus, on a Ferris wheel, going round and round and round. I mean, the guy's fucking crazy. This is the logic he comes up with. And the crazy part is I can understand what he's doing, yet I don't agree with it. That is the good part about me. That's why I actually get people to want to subscribe to this channel. This is why people appreciate what I have to say. And I speak from the heart. I don't tell you guys a bunch of bullshit so I can fit in with a crowd. If I like this stuff, I'd say I like this stuff. But how can I like it if it's insulting to my intelligence, number one? It's not compelling show. These are not compelling shows. These are not entertaining shows. They're trash. They're just lackluster, no care, no nothing to it. What a joke. Anyway, so yeah, the whole entire segment with Bobby Lashley is about him saying he's going to beat Brock Lesnar, go on to WrestleMania and main event, be the other main event for the WWE Championship. And that's pretty much that. 2 segments. We have Alexa Bliss talking about a fucking doll Lily. She is given a replica Lily doll by the psychiatrist. So all they're doing is taking forever to get to the inevitable, where she's not going to be the Alexa Bliss of like what fucking what's his face was. I mean, I don't know, man. This is just, I don't even know if I should even cover the rest of this. This is just garbage. But yeah, I mean, Dominic Mysterio had a match later on in the show. He lost again to what's his face? And he lost to Miz. Miz and Dominic and Ray with Maurice was a complete and utter joke. I really did not care for this at all. AJ Styles went up against Damian Priest. I already stated this. Why AJ Styles and Damian Priest had to take place, I have no idea. I think it was absolute trash. I don't know why the hell they did this. This was stupid. There was talks with Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens and all this nonsense. I don't know if they're friends. I don't know if they're enemies. I don't know what the hell they're doing with these two. Seth Rollins, really, to be quite frank with you, should it be the main event with Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship at WrestleMania. And Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley shouldn't have taken place until WrestleMania. And truth of the matter is, and I brought this up multiple times, and I'll say it again, I've been talking about it for about a year now, since the rumors have come out that Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley might be a thing at some point. I've always come up with the idea of, what if they had Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship, with Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley in a fight, an MMA fight inside of an octagon, very similar to Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman inside of a Lion's Den match, which was in SummerSlam of 1999, I believe, and have this as this fight not be fixed at all. Literally, have these two get inside of an octagon somewhere separated inside the stadium. They have plenty of space. I'm sure they'd be able to put this up. And have these guys really kick each other's ass and really kill each other in an MMA fight over the WWE Championship. I think a lot of people would go ahead and buy tickets to watch that fight. Big time. I really believe they'd be able to get over very well with that match. I really do. I think a lot of people would be entertained and interested in that fight. And it would be under a WWE promotion. WWE's never... You want to talk about public PR. You want to talk about people talking about you on mainstream media. People would be talking about this coming out of their ass. This would be as big as like a Mike Tyson showing up in a WWE ring. Come on, man. Probably even bigger than that. All right, Miz and... I'm not even going over Miz and Dominic Mysterio and Rey Mysterio. They did say something that was really mind-boggling. Miz notices that Dominic's taller than Rey Mysterio. He says, "Are you sure you're not Eddie Guerrero's son instead?" I was like, what? I'm like, damn. That was the one thing throughout this entire segment that I found really entertaining. But other than that, the rest of it was fucking shit. Dominic's Dominic Mysterio loses another match to The Miz. Oh, no, wait, I'm wrong. Dominic Mysterio won the match. See how much I wasn't paying attention to this show? I didn't even know that Dominic Mysterio won the fucking match. So, yeah, he won the match. Big deal. With a roll-up. Wow, a fucking roll-up. Whoop-de-freaky-doo. You know? Okay, Bianca Belair went up against Nikki ASH. She should be ASV. Almost a super villain, not a superhero. How can you be a superhero if you're portraying a heel role? That makes no sense. And it's utterly retarded. Not to mention the gimmick itself is utterly retarded to begin with, so who gives a shit? Bianca Belair wins this match. She lands a one-legged KOD for the win, and big whoop. Dana Brooke was backstage trying to hide away from everyone from the 24/7 championship hunt to strip her of the title by pinning her or whatever. You know, the roll-up fest. Back in the day when they did the Hardcore Championship for a 24/7 title defense, they did other creative things, like hit people with frying pans. They hit each other with chairs. They threw people through plate glass windows, something Kane did to Big Show at a WrestleMania match. These are good ideas. Today's 24/7 version of a title defense is just roll-up pinfalls and goofy segments backstage acting like fucking idiots, making mockeries out of themselves. Utterly ridiculous. But whatever. Kevin Owens versus Austin Theory took place. Kevin Owens wins this match, gets his win back, but for what? Is he getting put into the Elimination Chamber match? Is Austin Theory being removed from the Elimination Chamber? Nothing is taking place for that. Instead, they had a segment right after that with Kevin Owens trying to talk to Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce backstage, and they're giving him the idea that he may not even be at WrestleMania. Are you serious? We're not even near April yet, and we're talking about Kevin Owens not even being able to show up at the fucking pay-per-view of WrestleMania, a 2-night show? You're going to tell me he's not going to be part of the card? That's pretty fucked up. Anyway. Truth of the matter is they could possibly have Kevin Owens take an interest in Edge. But then again, Kevin Owens has not been in such a winning streak. He hasn't had a winning streak. He's been a joke. Outside of his rivalry with Roman Reigns in the beginning of last year, he's done nothing. I mean, literally nothing. It's very pathetic and sad. We have a segment with Lita. She's discussing the reasons why she wanted to challenge Becky Lynch for the championship. This was fucking terrible. I really did not like this at all. Lita hit a twist of fate at the end of all this discussion, all this BS, which I could have cared less for. I didn't give a shit. Like I said, I didn't pay attention to one fucking thing that took place on this show. It was that bad. But yeah, Lita hit a twist of fate and then hits a moonsault off the top rope to finish off Becky Lynch, and that's pretty much that. Liv Morgan faced Doudrop. Doudrop wins the match. Don't really care. Shit match. Riddle went up against Seth freaking Rollins. I don't know why they're calling him freaking Rollins. I think that's utterly ridiculous and dumb. But yeah, Riddle ends up winning this match by disqualification. Only later, when we get back from commercial break, they do the old switcheroo impromptu match for a tag team match with Randy Orton and Matt Riddle against Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins, which they seem like Kevin Owens and Seth Rollins are having some sort of dislike towards one another. I was assuming based on what their interaction was backstage before this match even took place. So if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Like I said, I was barely paying attention to this shit. It was that terrible. But yeah, Seth Rollins wins the match with Kevin Owens with a curb stomp. against Riddle, and that is that. So Riddle suffers an L in this match. I don't know what the big fucking deal was, why they couldn't just had this as a disqualification, a no contest technically, and just scrap this as a nothing match. No, neither one of these guys deserve a loss, honestly. Matt Riddle's an upcoming star that could become a main eventer. And honestly, here's my vision. Listen to me, guys. Here's my vision. My vision for Matt Riddle is next year's WrestleMania, he becomes WWE Champion and dethrones Roman Reigns. I think Matt Riddle should have a complete, utter, undefeated streak. No one beats him. No one pins him. No one does shit with him. No one can get through this guy. He's like the next Brock Lesnar. He's an ass-kicking machine. What turns him into this more serious role? I don't know. The guy he's tag teamed with, Randy Orton. Randy Orton needs to turn on him in the middle of a Monday Night Raw episode when they lose to the tag team champions. This needs to invigorate Randy Orton into a madman and turn him back into the old Randy Orton as a heel. This should lead to a build-up into the WrestleMania match. This needs to be a serious rivalry match between these two guys. No more of this dippy-doo bullshit comedic act role anymore. It's time to get serious with these two guys. They are capable of producing a really good match together and giving us a great build into their match. They are more than capable of doing it. If you don't believe me, go look at Matt Riddle's work in NXT. He has done some really good stuff there. He's also entertaining. Don't get me wrong. He is entertaining. He can do the entertainment portion. But with what Randy Orton could do to him would turn him into a serious role, not a fucking comedy act. That's what I would do. Right now, the comedy act, I guess I could roll with it for right now until Randy Orton turns on him. Randy Orton turns on him. The smiles, the stupid smiles, they need to go. They need to get lost. It's time to get serious and buckle down and kick some ass. That's my vision for Matt Riddle. That's number one. Matt Riddle beats Randy Orton at WrestleMania. You cannot, and I repeat, you cannot do the same thing you did with Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania from last year. That was a complete and utter joke. Bray Wyatt was this unstoppable killing machine, and then he gets beaten by one RKO at the end of the match. What? Get the fuck out of here. Matt Riddle needs to defeat Randy Orton in a very close matchup, kick out of the RKO, and beat him with his own finishing maneuver. Or submit him. One of the two. You could also go ahead and make him pass out in a submission hold. That's fine with me too. That could also lead for them for another match, leading to them having one more match. And Matt Riddle wins that match as well. I'd be totally cool with that. Or you could do another thing. You could have Randy Orton disappear for a while until SummerSlam, have him come back and lose to Matt Riddle again. Get what I'm saying? The rest of the time, he should have decent rivalry matches in the mid-card section throughout this entire year. And then from there, win the Royal Rumble at next year's Royal Rumble in 2023. Challenge Roman Reigns for the WWE Universal Championship and win the Universal title. And we say goodbye to Roman. Thank you for your services. You're no longer required. Unless he decides he wants to continue to wrestle, then they could utilize him in other aspects of their program. But other than that, I don't see the point of Rock coming back. A lot of people like the idea. I agree with the whole storyline purpose of this with Roman Reigns and Rock. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't see, what does The Rock gain from this? Does he really gain anything out of this? He's a number one Hollywood actor in the world right now. Why does he need to lower himself down to wrestling And no offense to us as wrestling fans, but let's admit, he makes a hell of a lot more money in acting than he would being a professional wrestler. Let's be honest with ourselves, okay? So, Rock doesn't need to be at WrestleMania 39 next year. Rock doesn't need to do shit. Rock needs to stay focused on his acting career. And on top of that, he's an entrepreneur. He's invested money in other aspects of business. He's got his own alcohol franchise he's got going on, like Conor McGregor. I mean, this guy is all over the place doing stuff. He's got his own TV show made after him when he was a young kid that he's making money off of. I mean, this guy is making money hand over fist any aspect he goes. He doesn't need to throw his body around in his 50s. He's not Bill Goldberg. I mean, Bill Goldberg is doing this because he has no other options to make money. So he's throwing his body around for a measly less than 5 minutes, actually, and making a great handful of money. So there you go. You know? And that's it, man. That's all I have to say at this time. Let me go over the comments in the chat section, and then we'll close up shop here for this this Random Wrestling Talk episode number 5. All right, I need to remember where the hell I left off so I don't miss anyone's comments. All right, so Rachel Buck stated Braun Breaker accepts Dolph Ziggler's challenge for the WWE NXT Championship. Okay, great. Matt 87 Eagle says, plus I read that one. All right, yeah. Why do people hate Nick Khan by Black Hats? I read that. Black Hat says Dolph should have left years ago. Now he's stuck. He stayed there for money. That was the only reason why he stayed there. It wasn't because he had no other choice. He had other choices. He had the indies. He had many other avenues. He's also a stand-up comedian. He could have tried to make it as a stand-up comedian. This guy did not have to settle for WWE's garbage, but he did because he was going to make that easy money. That's all he was caring about. Matt 87 Eagle says that the hell is Ziggler doing on TV, much less getting an NXT title shot. The bum is catering lifer. Yeah, he's probably helping Dana Brooke and Titus O'Neil backstage with the catering. He's assistant chef with Titus. Rachel Buck says that heel Ziggler mentioned coming to NXT and taking my title. You want the next shot after Santos? Come on down. Braun Breaker said. Okay, well, that's great. Black Hat says releasing 84 wrestlers in 1 year is beyond me. After that, I stopped caring about their shows and products. I don't blame you, Black Hats. I really don't. There's really no reason to care about WWE at this point until somebody else has ownership, or unless Vince McMahon wakes up from his being in a coma and stop being an asshole until he can realize his glory days when he actually gave a shit about sports entertainment, wrestling, whatever way he wants to refer it to. He needs to start showing that this is a sport, not some joke show fucking product, because it's not even sports entertainment. He can say whatever he wants. He can say it's wrestling, it's sports entertainment. It's not any of those two. It's not even sports entertainment anymore. There's nothing sports or athletic about this show. They're not giving any investment or time into this product at all. So there you go. Matt 87 Eagle says that's why they had to rely on one-time appearance at a Royal Rumble, because Nick Khan, man, cut the majority of the active roster due to budget cuts. Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they did that to the women's Royal Rumble. I mean, they added all kinds of women that aren't even wrestling for the roster on a day-to-day basis. Rachel Buck says, watch the video Ziggler posted on Twitter. Sorry, Rachel Buck, I'm not going to waste my time with that. I don't even have Twitter. I don't really have any social media platforms outside of Facebook. I don't even use that. And YouTube TV and YouTube is the only other thing that I have as a social platform. Other than that, I don't care to do Twitter at all. Black Cats also stated earlier that the WrestleMania 36 was the last great pay-per-view. I wouldn't say it was great, Black Cats, but I would say it was a decent pay-per-view for the fact that it really had a terrible situation where COVID took effect and they didn't have a crowd, which pissed me the fuck off. And another reason why I didn't re-opt for tickets for WrestleMania 37. I wasn't going to go through the trouble of purchasing my tickets again after I've been refunded the money. I was not going to do that. Sorry. That's bullshit. Rachel Buck also states that Dolph Ziggler is on the NXT roster now. That is terrific. Wonderful. I'm glad Dolph Ziggler can now be a jobber in a developmental system now instead of the main roster. Good for him. He's the next New York Brawler. The Brooklyn Brawler, I mean. I'm fucked up with the name. But yeah, he's the next Brooklyn Brawler. He should change his name from Dolph Ziggler to Brooklyn Brawler Jr. It's really who he should be. The son of the Brooklyn Brawler. Even though he doesn't look anything like Brooklyn Brawler, but whatever. All right, Rachel Buck states that Dolph Ziggler is on the NXT roster now. He just said it tonight. And Rachel Buck also states that, do you see someday that Big Cass coming to WWE? No, I do not see that ever happening. I think that Big Cass, now known as W. Morsley, will either stay in Impact Wrestling, go to another indie promotion, or possibly go to AEW, which would be another option for him. I think this W. Morsley character is a hell of a lot better than what he was as Big Cass, personally. They had him making fun of Daniel Bryan's stature, his height, and all that. That was fucking ridiculous. I mean, you're going to make fun of a man's height because you're taller than him. Whoa, wow. That's really storyline compelling stuff, man. 2019, they're doing this kind of shit. Even back then. Fucking joke. Rachel Buck stated she agreed with my idea about Matt Riddle and him being pushed to the World Championship next year. I appreciate that, Rachel Buck. I'm glad you're showing that you have intelligence, unlike some of the wrestling community. I think the wrestling community, some of them are really off their rockers. And then Daniel states, hi, I'm here. Sorry, Daniel, if you didn't catch the rest of the show, I apologize. The beginning portion of the show, you can go back and watch it. We talked about a lot of stuff, and you can leave me a comment in the comment section, and I'll definitely hit you back once you leave a comment there. But love talking to you, Daniel. You got a lot of good ideas, and you have a great opinion because you actually show you have a brain, and I appreciate people that have brains. I don't like talking to dumb people. Dumb people make me angry because you shouldn't be dumb. You should always want to improve on intelligence and learn things. If you're not wanting to learn, then you're lazy. I don't like laziness. I'm not lazy. I'm a very, I'm not, super intellectual when it comes to vocabulary and talking and all that shit. But I have logic. And if you ain't got logic, you're fucked up to me. Okay? So have logic. You're good to me. I'm not going to brag about, I'm more intelligent than somebody else. That's just mean and fucking just being an asshole. Rachel Buck also states that the Ziggler Braun Breaker match for the NXT Championship is taking place on NXT. Terrific for them. But anyway, guys, at this time, we went partially over an hour. Was not anticipating to do that, but unfortunately we did. And that's totally fine. I love talking to you guys. I love your comments. And I greatly appreciate you guys supporting this channel. I know this is not a humongous channel. I've only gotten 251 subscribers. So I still got ways to go to even come close to anyone in the YouTube community. But I just don't care. I love pro wrestling so much. I don't care. I do this shit free. I don't give a fuck. I love this. This is what I love to do. And I love the interaction I get from you guys. So at this time, you know what to do. Hit the like button if you like this video. I appreciate the like button from whoever left the like button. I appreciate it. From now on, guys, please, if you want to support this channel, hit the like button when you walk through. the live stream. If you happen to watch this video initially, hit the like button. You guys wouldn't be, tuning into these videos if you didn't like it. So hit the like button, I mean, if you guys want to support me and you want to see me grow as a channel, hit the like button, okay? But I'm not going to beg you guys. If you don't want to hit the like button, that's fine. That's fine. That's cool with me. I'm not going to beg for it. I got a job of my own. So I make a living doing my real day job. This is just a hobby. But I love doing it, and I want to stay committed to this because I really would love to see this channel grow. But hey, it is what it is. If you guys don't want to, then fine. That's fine with me. But really, if you guys want to support the channel, you don't have to give money. Just hit the like button. But anyway, besides that, hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed to the channel, of course, and leave a comment down below. You guys already know I will comment you back immediately when I get the notification. So there ain't no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I am honest. I am straight up. I try to stick to my word. I know sometimes I don't because of my work schedule. So that does have an effect, and I do get burnt out after a certain period of time. So if you happen to see that I don't have a video up when I state I'm going to do it and I don't do it, it's because I'm burnt out and I'm just tired and I just want a day to relax for myself. So that's the only reason why I would not come through what I say I'm going to do. But anyway, I thank you guys again for tuning in. It was a pleasure talking to you guys. I hope you enjoyed this 1 hour session of this live stream. And I'll see you again next Tuesday, where we discuss more about WWE news and rumors, as well as AEW if I find anything. So I appreciate it, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll speak to you again tomorrow for AEW Dynamite. Bye.